going to be controlled while you're there.
So has anybody from people who believe like you guys tried to send people out there to the edge of the Earth?
We're working on funding right now.
There have been people that have tried to go to Antarctica by themselves, and they were stopped.
Just to clarify, we don't necessarily believe there is an edge.
You don't believe there's an edge?
In our model, we're not floating in outer space. You don't take the ball and turn it into a disc. The Earth is flat, level, and it's not moving, just like it seems, and we're not sure if there's an edge or not.
Okay. All right. Let's go to another Facebook question that's coming in right now. This is from Patrick. If the Earth is flat, why are the sun and moon round?
Well, that has nothing to do with the ground that we're standing on, but we'd say that, the heavenly luminaries, the sun, the moon, and the other planets included, which used to be called wandering stars, are just that. They're luminaries, and they orbit around us versus us being the one spinning and them being not moving.
Okay, so this is another question that's coming in a lot, too. This is coming in from Ryan, and a lot of people agree with Ryan, and this is what he's asking. Seriously, why are you giving these people a platform? Fake news. Ask them if this is fake news. What's your response to that?
Absolutely not. And you know what? Yeah. People need to investigate more than one side of a subject before they ridicule the other side of a subject. So all this hate we're getting are from people that have never even looked into what we're saying. They dismiss it out of hand. You wouldn't approach a scientific problem with multiple angles, look at one angle and then say, yep, I'm done, and walk away. So these people have been taught one model their entire life. We're looking at both models, and we're trying to ask questions about the nature of where we live. So what is wrong with that?
Okay. Follow-up question. This is my own personal follow-up question. Do you guys believe in any other kind of, beliefs that are not mainstream, like other conspiracies?
I believe we're lied to by the media about 99.9% of the time.
Okay. Do you think we're lying right now?
You personally?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
But we're talking more mainstream.
Okay.
But I would like him to answer that too.
Yeah. Matt?
Well, when it comes to... Actually, could you just repeat the question?
Yeah. He believes, Matt, Jimmy was saying that the media 99% of the time lies. Are we lying right now?
I don't believe you're lying. I think you're actually giving us the time of day. What you do when you edit the video later is we could be smeared. It happens to us a lot.
And that's the concept behind this, this concept. This live interview is going to live on our Facebook page. It's going to be raw and uncut, so people can go back to that live video anytime. Let's go back to another pre-submitted question here. This is from Noah, who asked, I would love to know what keeps our satellites in the sky if the Earth isn't round, or why don't we see any other flat worlds in space?
Helium balloons. Helium balloons keep any kind of communication satellites up in the sky. They're not actually out there floating in orbit. If they do send something up, it's attached to a helium balloon.
So it's not satellites then?
No. 99% of your internet actually comes from transatlantic and transpacific underwater cables, which most people don't know.
I remember when I was a Boy Scout, when I would go camping in the middle of the night, I would actually see these little bright lights, and they were satellites. That's what I was told. They were satellites. They were like they were stars. Come on.
You were told they were satellites, but what you see is a light in the sky.
Yeah.
So we're making, you see lights in the sky, and you're making these giant jumps to say that they're satellites, but we see people tell us all the time, oh, look, we can see a satellite. No, you see a light in the sky.
Yeah. Okay. All right, let's see if we have any more Facebook viewer questions coming in. We had the satellite question. That's another satellite question that came in. If you want to talk a little bit more about the satellite issue, anything else you want to add there?
One thing about satellites is they're about the size, on average, they're about the size of a school bus, and they say how the distance they say they are away from us, you wouldn't be able to see a satellite at that distance.
Okay.
Could you see a school bus 20 times the height of an airplane?
Yeah. So you agreed to step in our truck and talk about this before a very large public audience.
Absolutely.
And a lot of them are upset that we're even giving you time.
We would have been too. Page. Yeah, we would have been too back in the day.
You would have been upset if you guys were sitting here in your seats, or if I was,
we
watching
were all
this.
raised for so long. You go to school for so long. You watch TV. Everything you see on TV has a spinning globe and outer space inside of TV shows, even music videos, movies, and books, novels. The first novel about outer space was written in the 1600s. We all basically just are raised and kind of programmed, if you will, to believe this without question. And when it comes up, you kind of get mad about it.
Okay. Here's another viewer question coming in right now. Trinity. She says, I'd like to see them debate a NASA scientist.
Bring them
I
on.
would love to.
Bring them on.
Yeah.
Find them, we'll debate them. We will get somebody to debate them, or we'll debate them ourselves.
I would suspect that there's probably some NASA scientists maybe watching right now.
Right.
They're probably rolling their eyes at us for giving you guys a platform
I thought that
and
this
for
was
listening to you guys. What do you have to say to the NASA scientists who may be watching this right now then?
Stop lying to us.
Yeah.
We know
Yeah.
you're manipulating your photos. We
Yeah.
know what CGI looks like. We're not idiots. We know you never
Yeah.
went to the moon.
Yeah.
So come debate us.
And I can hear people probably on that live feed saying, you guys are deluded.
That's
I
okay.
can hear a lot of,
get that all day.
we're going to get that, a lot of that feed that you guys are deluded. Okay.
Happens
All right.
all day.
All right. Emma wants to know, this is another Facebook viewer question. Emma wants to know, then what causes climate, seasons, or wind?
We don't know everything. We don't have all the answers. All we can tell you is that we're not spinning on a magical ball in space
Yeah.
with water stuck to the outside of it.
Yeah.
NASA admits on numerous occasions that we can't go past low Earth orbit, which is between 99 miles and 1,200 miles away, and that basically puts it gives us credence to the fact that there might be some sort of barrier up there that we can't go past, giving credence to what people call the dome, and they laugh at it, but inside of a barrier, we would have a pressure system. It makes sense to have pressure systems. And if you go look at the Weather Channel, they show the weather on a globe. You could turn that map into a flat state, like a flat kind of map, and it looks, the weather makes sense all of a sudden. It goes in circles.
It makes more sense on a flat model.
Okay. Taylor from Facebook wants to know, do they believe in space? Do you believe in space?
Not as we're told it is. Outer space is not real. Deep space travel is not real. But when you look up in the sky and you see the stars and the other planets, that's real. You're seeing things that's real. It's not like they're projecting a fake hologram up there or anything.
One thing I'd like to add
Yeah.
for all the viewers that are ridiculing,
Yeah.
why don't you think back and think of any real picture that you've seen from space? You've never seen a real picture from space. When Cosmos comes on, it's all CGI, it's all cartoons. It's 2017. 4K cameras are very cheap. There should be no reason we don't have a 360 pan in space of all the planets. We should have a 24-hour live stream of our spinning ball from some of these supposed satellites. We don't.
Yeah. So let's go to another previewer submitted question here. This was Katie overnight when we posted that we were going to be talking to you, gentlemen. She asked the question, are they ready for this kind of public embarrassment? Do you feel publicly embarrassed?
I've
at
been
all?
public as a flat earther for almost 3 years now, and I get 50-50. 50% of the people say, wow, you're right. The other 50 say, you're deluded. They won't even give me the time of day.
And you run a YouTube channel.
I run a YouTube channel called ODD Reality.
And have you seen that grow over the years?
Oh, yeah.
Since
I
you
went from
started?
0 subs. Well, I wasn't a flat earther when I started my
Yeah.
channel, but I have almost 80,000 subs right now.
So one of the reasons why we brought you guys into this truck is because there's been some news coverage on flat earthers, because anecdotally, there's no numbers out there. Anecdotally, people who believe the way you do are growing. There's meetup groups.
Yep.
What are those meetup groups like? What do you discuss in those meetup groups?
So, for anyone in Denver that's listening, if you do want to attend the meetup, please email flatearthisreal@getwoke@gmail.com. I run a YouTube channel called Critical Thinking Always, and I just decided to organize it, but we've been getting about 50, 60, sometimes more people, and we talk about the way going forward. We talk about everything. All these people are extremely intelligent, extremely tech-savvy, extremely open-minded. And we're sitting there and we're exploring the nature of our reality. So, I'm not going to, you asked about ridicule before, I'm not going to feel publicly ashamed or ridicule for asking simple questions that we can't seem to get answers for.
So I want to be honest with you. Before you guys stepped into our truck here, I honestly thought this was going to be half of me thought this was going to be a prank. That you guys were going to come here and you were going to sit here, you were going to troll, and then later this evening you were going to get up on your Facebook page and say, we fooled 9 News, we don't really believe this way. I mean, you sound absolutely convinced that the Earth is flat. And you sound convinced that the Earth is flat. How do you convince those people who are watching this right now saying, these guys, there's no way. There's no way. The science, the images, everything out there.
Your images you see are fake. look for curvature. You're not going to find it.
Through a platform like this, we're not going to be able to convince many,
Yeah.
but we're going to let you know that we're out here. There's many flat earthers making great content, putting out the facts of no detectable curvature. No experiment ever in the history of mankind has proven the motion of the Earth, and you people have to come to that conclusion after researching it on their own. We can't go around saying, "Hey, the Earth is flat," and nobody's going to say, "Oh yeah, it is. You're right."
Cool.
I would tell people,
Yeah.
look at Nikola Tesla and the way he approached things as opposed to Einstein. So we want to see experimentation. We want to see real video that doesn't look like I made it at home on my computer, because right now that's what NASA's giving us.
Yeah.
They're giving us stuff that we could have a 9-year-old make with enough time and money, and they're getting, what are they getting? $19.5 billion of our tax money a year. So, I mean, even if you don't want to believe that the Earth is flat, you should look into where your money's going in NASA.
Yeah. Okay. I got to ask. I'm sure you have friends and family who probably
They're watching right now.
know that you guys are doing this. I mean, not only do you get a lot of pushback, probably from the public. What about your friends and family? For what do you hear from them because you're taking such a vocal stance on this belief?
Most of them, they look into it and actually see what we're talking about, and
Yeah.
they don't necessarily get on board with us, but they'll say,
Yeah.
"Wow, I see where you're coming from now."
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So, I work in the investigative unit at 9 News,
Okay.
and I hear about every single conspiracy theory. It crosses my desk. I'm a very skeptical person.
Absolutely.
Me as an investigative reporter who's grown up, in elementary school, went through high school, went through college, and, has been, taught by, by many, many teachers and seen lots of NASA pictures. I can't get on board with your belief. I will probably never, ever get on board with your belief. Ever.
We expect
Ever.
that.
We expect that.
If you actually had an open mind and looked into it, you would get on board.
I
Because
think I think I actually do have an open mind, but when I
Well,
I mean,
you
I
just said
yeah,
that.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
condemnation before
yeah,
investigation is the height of ignorance.
Yeah.
So if you look,
you've never spent
Yeah.
6 months and looked into this,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
you're condemning something before you even look into it.
So what you're saying is when people actually do start to consume,
Yes, that's what happens. This is what happens.
Yeah.
You're going to ridicule it. You're going to start to look at it. You're still going to ridicule it, and then you're going to be like, I can prove this in 10 seconds. I can make these guys look dumb. Let me go get...
Sure.
And then they start to try and prove the globe, and it falls apart like dust in their hands. All the questions that they had when they were kids, like, yeah, you say it's gravity, but I've never seen water stick to the outside of a triangle or a sphere, ever. We've never even seen it on the space station. You know what I mean? There's just too many anomalies.
okay. So I think we start at 3:18. How are we doing on time there? Let me ask the producers. Let me get up real quick. How are we doing on time, Katie? How long have we been going?
25 minutes.
Okay, we're at about 25 minutes. Okay, I think we're going to wrap it up here. I always like to end these interviews with, or Let's Be Clear segments with last thoughts. Any last thoughts you guys want to say?
yeah, just what you were just saying, man.
Yeah.
It takes somebody to actually go in and really look at it, because it's very hard to break the programming. We've spent our whole lives watching movies, going to school, just being globes in your face, globes, 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 heliocentric model this, gravity that. Everything is just, it's all programming. Once you could break through that programming, look at it unbiasedly, you'll see that the information that we're talking about is real. There is no detectable curvature, and there is no measurable motion.
Jimmy, any lasting thoughts?
So I was always raised to be open-minded and question things. And before you guys ridicule someone, please research. If you want to spend some time and research it and then come and debate us, that's fine. But 99% of the people that are calling us stupid, all this, they've never looked into it for 5 minutes. So this is supposed to be 2017. You're supposed to be able to question things. So why don't you question a few things?
Okay. All right. Well, gentlemen, even though I strongly disagree with your belief, and I probably will never, ever come to the conclusion that the Earth is flat, I want to thank you for subjecting yourselves
Are you
to
gonna,
the...
are you
to
gonna
the
look at it, or are you just going to
I've been reading a lot about it. I'm on the internet a lot. I've heard a lot about flat earthers like yourselves, and I've read about a lot of other conspiracy theories. I can't be convinced to be flipped to like these conspiracy theories. I just can't. I just can't. I'm not. I'm a skeptical person by nature. But am I ever going to believe that the Earth is flat? Absolutely not.
See,
No.
you're going to be ridiculed, mocked, and shamed if you ever.
I absolutely will,
In
yeah.
your job.
Yeah.
That's why most.